And thank you for joining me for our Mind Moments Spotlight. And this is when we are going to delve into cultivating compassion and increasing our self awareness a bit, because this can really have a profound impact on our lives and our relationships, and particularly within our families. So that's what I want to talk about just a little bit today. This is what we talked about last week in our My Moments membership. And we talked about families, compassion, things like that. So I want to share a little bit about that with you today. So the first thing is compassion. Let's talk a bit about compassion. It is about understanding and empathizing with others. So, and that comes easy sometimes when we're talking with family members. But there are also challenging situations where we try to show empathy or understanding with our family members. But when the rubber meets the road, we are having challenges with that. So I want to know before I move on, do you find it harder to empathize with others when the conversations get tough or when you're feeling a little bit challenged? So let's hear about that. Yeah, hi, I see a couple more people joining. Yes, it's all about compassion. So let's talk about that. Compassion and empathy in the tough conversations. So I want to know, is it easy for you? Is it not? I'm going to give you 3 specific areas of difficulty that I've found that might make it a little challenging to be as empathetic or understanding as you would like to be. Number 1 is financial support. So when you're discussing financial assistance, or someone's asking for help, or you're trying to set boundaries on providing that type of support, this can be very sensitive and challenging. I speak from experience on that one. And another one, life choices. You know, life choices and decisions, when you're having conversations with family, relatives, people that you're pretty close to, sometimes if these conversations are revolving around some life choices, maybe some relationships, maybe their living arrangements, whatever it might be, these decisions can sometimes lead to differing opinions, and therefore that emotional strain sets in. So I want to see, how do you guys feel about that? Do you find sometimes these type of decisions with family members can get difficult, challenging? Yeah. So let me know. I'll be happy to. I'd love to interact. I'd love to hear your insight on that type of a topic, that subject. Now, we're going to shift our focus a little bit from that compassion when it comes to conversations with people that we're close to self-awareness. And self-awareness involves us really being conscious of our own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. So I'm going to share with you a practice or a technique that I found particularly helpful, but I'd like for you to share. Have you found something that's been helpful? Does something come to mind when it comes to practicing how to become more conscious of your thoughts, your emotions, even your behaviors, sometimes even those habits that we have so ingrained in our being and our daily routines, and coming to a point where we want to sort of become more aware of what's going on. So share any tips or comments you might have on that in the chat, in the comment section, and let's see what we can come up with for ideas to help us be more self-aware. And the one activity that I want to share specifically with you is today is the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet. This is one tool that is very effective for enhancing self-awareness and being able to kind of tweak those family dynamics a little bit so that you can have more compassionate relationships and discussions. And this is a worksheet that is written by or developed by Byron Katie. So this worksheet is, and I'll be sharing this for those of you who have signed up for the reminders and the online resources. I'll be sharing this worksheet with you. It helps us question our judgments about others. And it could be family members, it could be people at work, it could just be your neighbors, anyway. A little bit about the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet developed by Byron Katie. It is, like I was telling you, it is a worksheet that really helps you reflect on your own beliefs and your self-judgments. And so the first part, the way it works is it wants you to identify the judgment. So if we're talking about family, we can think about a specific family member or situation where you felt critical or maybe judgmental yourself. And then it'll ask you to write that down, be honest with it and open. Nobody else is going to read it. It's just going to be you doing a little bit of self-awareness activity. And then it's going to give you an opportunity to explore your feelings about this area. And you're going to be able to reflect on these judgments and how they make you feel when you are in that mode. Do you feel anger, frustration, resentment, sadness? You'll be able to just spend some time and write down these emotions and how you feel about that. And then it's going to ask you to question that judgment. So it's going to give you 4 questions to use. And on the worksheet, it lines out all 4 of those questions. And it's going to ask you, is this judgment true? How do you react when you believe that it's true? What do you do? Who would you be without that thought? And then how can you turn it around? So being able to consider an alternative perspective. So I'd like for you, if you have signed up and you'd like the resources, this particular worksheet, fill it out. See if you can really uncover some underlying beliefs and patterns. And then afterwards, just reflect on the insights that you've gained, areas where you might be more judgmental than you need to be or you really want to be. And consider this as another approach in the future to dealing with maybe some challenging situations. So now it's time to ask for some questions. I know I've kind of gone through pretty quickly on this, but do you have any questions or reflections that you'd like to share about this topic today, about self compassion, compassion with others? And what do you think about that Judge Your Neighbor worksheet? It's pretty neat. It's a really handy tool. I did not write it, but it's something that I have used. So let me know, share in the chat section or the comments if you have anything that you'd like to share with us. And then I want to thank you for joining us for today's virtual session. We talked about compassion and self-awareness today. And remember that practicing compassion and increasing your self-awareness can really foster more meaningful relationships and inner peace. So if some of these topics are things you'd like to dive in deeper into these practices, you are definitely invited to join me for a one-on-one expansion session. We'll get together, we'll explore personalized strategies that will enlighten you and will heighten your awareness and help improve your decision making when it comes to compassion. So whether you're a part of our paid membership, this is what we talk about in our membership, or you're just exploring These spotlight sessions, these practices are definitely designed to inspire and empower you towards lasting inner peace and purpose. And for those of you who might be connecting via YouTube, if you haven't already done so, I'd like to invite you to join our Facebook community, Essentials for Peace and Balance. It's the perfect place to connect with other people who are peace and balance seekers, to share your journey, and to get an extra dose of inspiration and support, particularly on Mondays. So thank you for joining me. I hope you found these insights helpful, and the activity that I share today. Hope you'll make sure that you've signed up so you can get those reminders. And then don't forget to subscribe, like I said, for the reminders and these complimentary resources. And I'll put the link down below so that you can subscribe to it, so that you can get the reminders and the weekly resources after each Mind Moment session. And as a reminder, these sessions are every single week almost. They're your check-in so that you can have an extra boost to start your week strong. So thank you for joining me again, and let's continue embracing every moment, making each one count.